All right, it's an exciting day. So we've been shopping for a roof rack for quite a while, and we're getting ready to go on a family vacation, and I've got to haul the cargo box. So if you saw the previous video, which kind of test fitted that to the stock crossbars on the 4Runner, wasn't very happy with the fitment. I wanted to get it farther backwards. There's no middle support for the box. Just wasn't cutting it. So I've been looking online, and there's Prinsu, Sherpa, Hook Road, and who knows how many others out there on roof racks. And a lot of what you see is going to be like what they call a 3/4 rack, which is about the same length as the stock roof rails. Or there's a full rack where if you're going on a safari and you got to haul all your stuff and the neighbor stuff too, you can put it all up there. So the full roof rack looks cool. I see a lot of them running around here locally. There's nothing on them. So that really wasn't for us. But what I did find with a company called LFD Off Road, and they have these things called ruggedized crossbars. Ruggedized crossbars. And basically what these do, these replace your existing crossbars. There's 4. So the front one's going to act kind of like a fairing. Then you have the 3 other rails. But why I like this, you get the function of a bigger rack, right? So you're not stuck with those little crossbars. This gives you the function of a bigger rack. You can mount things to them. They have plates that bolt to these that make it flat. You can put a rooftop tent, soft shell. I don't think you can do a hard shell, but I think you can do a soft shell rooftop tent. After vacation, for me, I'm probably going to add one of those Pelican type cargo boxes or storage boxes just to get some junk out of the inside, maybe a tool bag and a jack and stuff like that. So anyway, we'll see. So I'm going to pull the camera over here. I'm going to show you what we got in the box. This was literally everything in the box. It's very simple. Then we're going to dive into the install. So if you're looking for a roof rack option that's going to add so much function to your roof and not break the bank, man, this is it. Look them up, LFD Off Road, and they're called ruggedized crossbars. So I spared you the pain of the unboxing. I know people like to see the unboxing, but you know, there really just wasn't a lot to the unboxing. It's pretty simple. So this is what was in the box. And what do these remind you of? If you're a car enthusiast, that kind of reminds you of something. So I thought that was pretty funny. All right, so what's in the box here? We have the 4 rails, obviously, that we've covered. Again, this front one's going to act like a wind fairing, and you can see how they have these slots where you can slide in your T-nuts, or come up from underneath. You can actually get underneath to put your nuts in place, which you'll see here in a bit. So what else is in here? There's a piece of rubber strip, and that's going to go across the front to keep that from hitting the paint. There's instructions, 4 bags of bolts, 1 for each rail, and a cool sticker. That's it, guys. So we're going to dive into pulling the crossbars off. And I should have cleaned the roof, but it's just going to have to wait. So anyway, let's get these crossbars off, and we're going to dive into the install. All right, so I've got the air conditioner going. It got kind of hot in here. So if you're going to hear a whirring noise in the background. So basically what you want to do is you can go to Harbor Freight. Some other places sell these as well, but Harbor Freight carries these. I know because I bought these there, I'm pretty sure. These are basically just trim removal tools, and there's probably a dozen of them in a set. Different shapes, different sizes, whatever. They're plastic. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to pull this off each side, and that's going to allow us to slide the crossbars out. So let's wedge. I believe we should be able to wedge that here. A little difficult with one hand. Okay, there's one. So let's slide this down. Okay, there's the other. Looks like there's 3, or sounds like there's 3. Now we should be able to take this Just pop it off. Hopefully nothing breaks because this is plastic. There we go. Oh boy, look at all the junk. All right. We did not break anything. Awesome. So we're going to clean up on aisle 3. One other thing we have to do is pull these little strips. So this little strip, literally just going to pop out of there. It's kind of like a stop. That's going to stop you from sliding these out. All right, so as you can see, this channel is open. We can now slide our crossbars out of this side at least. So I'm going to go over here, pop that one off, clean this up, and we're going to get started. All right, so I have the stops out. I did not clean up, shame on me. Let's go ahead and knock these out. There we go, there's one. And the other. Now, technically, I believe you could probably just leave these in. I don't think you have to take them out, but if you want full adjustment of the ruggedized crossbars, they're going to have to be out. So I'm going to stage some parts up here. In fact, I might grab something and lay on the roof just so I don't scratch anything. And yeah, I'm just going to pretend I don't see that. So let's get everything staged and we'll get started. All right, guys, I am reading the directions. Something we hate to do, right? We don't want to read directions. So in the hardware kits, M8 bolts, you're going to need a 5mm hex key. I guess that's going to be like an Allen wrench or socket, depending on what you call them. But importantly, important-ish, the fairing, it says that specifically. It's optional to install the rubber edge trim on the bottom lip of the wind fairing. This is not needed on most setups, but recommended if the gap between the fairing and the roof is less than 1/4 inch. If concerned about paint rubbing, recommend installing 3M clear paint protect film, blah, blah, blah. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this on because I would rather have it on down here, put it on down here than wait for it to be up there. So I suspect I may need to cut this because it's an irregular, it's irregular. So let's look at this and see what we have. So yes, this does have a metal strip. So if you do plan to cut it, it's going to need to be something that will cut steel. Or will it go, I don't know, let's see if it'll fit without cutting it. Let's try it. So it does look to be the proper length already. So let's start putting this on. Okay, I shouldn't have turned it that way. Sorry. If you're wearing earbuds, my bad. So let's keep on trucking with this. Looking good so far. Now, depending on where you started, okay, so it does look like this will still be evenly spaced. Not that it matters, but you know, if you're the OCD type and spacing has to be perfect both sides. Oh, also in the directions, it also said the spacing between the factory rails might be uneven, just due to the rubber feet. But they are mounted on the roof. And so if you have some tightness issues between the crossbars, the ruggedized crossbars, and the rails, you can loosen the bolts that hold the rails to the roof, and you'll tighten these up to get them square with the roof rails, and then you'll tighten those back down. So we'll find out. All right. I didn't have to cut it. Works well. Spacing's pretty close. Nobody will be able to tell from the ground. I got a little bit tighter on this side and a little bit bigger gap over here. Not a big deal. Going to go with it. So that's on. All right, so I need to find a 5mm Allen wrench or socket, and we're going to start staging this together on the roof, so stand by. All right, in further direction reading, the bag, I said there was a bag for each rail, but there's actually one bag. There's 2 sets of hardware in each bag. So you're going to have, 2, 4, 6, so 8, 16 total. I'm not mathing tonight. So these washers, it comes with these washers called Nordlock wedge lock washers. They're very important. The large wedges face each other, the small wedges face out. And reading the directions, it says use 1 washer per bolt. What they mean is these are installed as a pair. They work as a pair. They are considered one. So you'll have the small wedges out, big wedges in. Now this T-nut is going to just work its way into the, see if I can show you here. So this is going to go in here like so, and then you're going to turn it so that it grabs the rail. So I'm going to set up the tripod and make a fool out of myself as I install this for the first time. Here we go. Oh, I need the 5mm hex. Let's use this one for now. What is this? Is this, that's standard. I need metric. Uh-oh, that's Torx. Ah, here we go. 5mm, here we go. Is that 5? That's 5. All right, so another handy thing. I say Harbor Freight a lot, but man, I truly get most of my tools there anymore. They got these cool little Allen head wrench sets, very handy. So let's at least get this one started. The way this is made, these have these notches. You don't have to have the bolt in the crossbar. Let's see if I can do this without scratching something. Actually, it'd be better if I just slid this to the bar. Now we're thinking. Anyway, you don't want the T-nut to come off of the bolt down into the roof rail, because it's going to be difficult to get out. Not that you couldn't get it out, but you would be able to. It might create some delay, and we don't like delays, right? All right, I'm going to go to the other side. And let's get this one started. Okay. I'm going to leave these loose because I do have to adjust these for the cargo box. Got to get that installed as well. Now these T-nuts, you do have to make sure the nut part stays vertical. And it does look like it's going to do that. All right, so there's our front bar in place. I did not have to take the rails loose. It does look like it's going to work without adjusting those. Now, okay, so that's the front one. Let's get some hardware out. Get that ready. And let's start on the second rail. Since I'm on the passenger side, let's just stay on the passenger side, I guess. All right, so let's get our Nordlock washers in place. And let's just kind of get this one started. This is very straightforward, guys. It's super simple so far. The instructions are good. It's one page front and back. So let's go. Let's get these set up. And move to the other side. So here's the orientation of the T-nut. It literally looks like a T. Washers stay together, just like so. Now again, I'm not tightening these at all because I've got to toss the cargo box up here. And I've got some different hardware for that that's very similar to what LFD Off Road supplies. All right, so there's the second one. Let's dump our hardware out. Get these ready. These washers are stuck together. Now when they say use one washer, again, that's a pair. They're calling a pair one washer. It took me a minute to get this idea, to comprehend this. Even though there's two washers that you're using them as a pair, so it's considered one. Read those directions. Reading the directions provides the best possible outcome. All right, let me grab another bar. We are a little tighter back here. No, we're not. We're good. Okay, let's let that side drop. This is kind of wedging itself because it's uneven. And once I get the other side pulled up, it should fall into place. There we go. And I love it already. So this is higher. These are higher than the original roof rails, I think by an inch. On the sides, more importantly, they're flat. The factory crossbars are curved, and it kind of doesn't give you a lot of support. All right, so you see how fast it's going? I have not edited any of this out. I could have saved you some time and had this hardware already put together before I started, but I'm discovering this just as you are. Okay, I'm gonna grab another bar. So again, if you're shopping for a roof rack, the choices are many. Plenty of options out there. You can spend as much as you want to spend on 4Runner accessories. All right. Pay the Toyota tax. So again, and not to say that those full-length racks aren't worth it. They are awesome. They are certainly worth it if you do a lot of camping and travel, whatever, and you're hauling a lot of stuff. Absolutely. I only camp in fantasy at this time, so I do have plans of doing some camping, but it's going to be inside the vehicle. I'm not going to be doing a tent, or maybe I'll do a rooftop tent one day, but with work and other things, just not a lot of time. And we all fall into that category. You gotta work. Work gets in the way of the fun stuff, right? Work gets in the way of the fun stuff. All right. There it is, guys. They're on. They're not tight. I do have to adjust. I'm going to have to put the roof box up here and make some adjustments. But that is the full install. To complete the install, these are going to be adjusted where you want them. Once you have them where you want them, then you're going to tighten the 5mm hex bolts. I believe that's going to wrap it up for now. I'm going to finish this up, and I'll probably come back with a final thoughts. So let's do that, and we'll go from there. All right, so this is going to show you the orientation of the T-nut. As you can see, the T part is vertical in that channel, and the square part comes through the opening in the roof rail. That locks it in place. You can tighten it down. So I found kind of an easy way to do this. I think I'm going to try to show you on the other side. I did mess up on these because, well, I'm a guy. Sometimes we mess up, right? You're going to see some flickering because of the flashlight. Can't help that. But hopefully you can see what's going on there. And also I found it easier to use a 5mm socket instead of the hex wrench. And when you thread this in, leave yourself some space. So you want to take this and put it in, turn it so that this is vertical like that. So you want to put it in, turn it vertical, and then slide it in the slot. And then you have to make sure that it stays vertical. You may have to move the crossbar a bit to line it up. I think we're good. Now off camera, I did line up my cargo box, so I think the front and rear rails are where they need to be. I've got an odd gap between the second and first rail, but that's okay. I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'll fix that when we put the Pelican case up here. So anyway, I'm going to clean this up, put the caps on, blow this off, and we're going to get some beauty shots. All right, we're going to call it a night. I've got the front and back bars ruggedized, crossbars, spaced properly for our cargo box. The middle ones I'll probably mess with at some point, maybe when we get the Pelican case after vacation. But man, 10 out of 10 would recommend. Super sturdy. They look great, and this is going to add so much more function to our roof. So how does it look from the side? You can definitely tell something's up there. Very pleased. So again, if you're looking for a roof rack for your 4Runner and you don't want to break the bank, man, this is going to open your world up. You can put stuff up here. You could put a off-road jack. You could put snowboards, skis, canoes, whatever. Again, they do make these flat plates that convert that into a platform if you're looking for a platform. A lot of function here, guys, for not a lot of money. So anyway, look them up. LFD Off Road, made in USA, and I'm very pleased. Thanks for watching.